Well, hello. I was like, where am I on the screen? Grand Rising, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm trying to get my glasses together because those that know me know that I am not a morning person. But I am trying to shift. I'm trying to shift mentally and get up early in the morning and do some great things. So, if you are on here, good morning once again. Go ahead and invite some of your business besties in here. If you are a certified life coach, go ahead and invite a couple of your bestie life coaches in here, your life coach besties, and all that good stuff while we jump in and get started because I shared a really, great story that I found on the internet, and it really got a lot of hoopla. Like people were like, "Oh my gosh, Master Coach, that was so great." I saw myself in that story, so I just wanted to jump on and just kind of expound on ways that we can truly learn how to take personal responsibility in our own life. So I see Nappy coaches on here. Hello, Nappy coach, and I see some of our other coaches are popping on here. So y'all just jump in. My brain is waking up. And we're going to dive in because I know that we don't have a lot of time. Some of you are probably getting ready for work. Some of you are probably already at work. And some of you are probably, are just getting up because you wanted to catch this live. So I don't want to waste a lot of your time. But I shared a story in the lab. So if you are a part of our lab, you saw the story. If not, if you are tuning in and you're on our main Facebook page, which is at the Global Coach Entrepreneur page on Facebook, or you're probably on my personal page and you want to go and read the story, you need to go in the lab. The lab is free and you can join it. One of our coaches can actually put the link to the lab in the feed. So it really just talked about there was a boss, and the boss was very, very hard on the employees, just always redirecting them and correcting them to make them better. And they did not like the boss, and they were like, the boss is so mean that they were not being able to perform at their optimal level, right? So the boss did something very tricky and put a note on his door, and it was like, the person that has been holding you back, has passed away, and we want to pay our respects. So attend this, attend the event that they gathered. So anyway, they go and there's a coffin or whatever, and they walk up to the coffin, because even though they're feeling sad, they're happy because it's like, yes, now we're going to get a new leader who is going to, like maybe push us and motivate us to reach our numbers or to gain a level of success. And when they got to the coffin, they saw a mirror, and the only person they saw in the coffin was themselves, right? So the reflection that the boss wanted them to see is that the only person that can hold you back in life, like the only person that can limit you, is truly yourself. And when you say that to a lot of people, especially people who are kind of like in abusive situations, personally and professionally, we do have some professional environments that are very, very, abusive, as far as mentally and emotionally. And, a lot of people blame those type of environments from their rise to success or their rise to the next level. And also in our personal relationships, a lot of us suffer, and also abusive, type of style relationships, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritually, or whatever. And we will blame even those relationships from our rise of success, into personally or whatever level of life we're trying to get to. And that story really sparked it really sparked enlightenment inside of me. And so everyone who knows me, and those of you who do not know me, I am Master Coach LaKendra Smalley. That's what they call me here in this world of life coaching. And I am the founder and CEO of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, where we certify, train, and develop life coaches, teaching them that, life coaching is a lifestyle, and you truly can take control of your own life by maximizing every gift, every talent, every skill, every experience that you have ever had in life, and turn it into profit, turn it into success, turn it into a true legacy that can gift generations after generations to come, thereafter. And we do that through teaching our eye care model, which gets you centered with the heart, where you can take responsibility of your life by creating a vision, by living in awareness of truly what's going on with you in your life, so you can make necessary changes that are in alignment with your vision and your passion and your values, and also to vibrate higher so you can position yourself and attract things that are in correlation to where you're trying to go. And so we teach this in life coaching, which is the reason why life coaching is a lifestyle, because those principles that we teach aligns in every profession and every household, in the world, because one big thing that truly holds us back is the lack of responsibility that we take, within our own life. So I want to really jump into, I'm going to talk about five, I think there are 4 or 5. I'll see what's in my spirit. 4 or 5 keys that you can truly take on to take personal responsibility in your life. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, because I will tell you, powerful people ask powerful questions. So I'm going to just be asking a lot of questions, because questions will help you go into a level of reflection, right? Life should always be about reflecting where you are currently, reflecting where you're trying to go, and also reflecting of where you have come from, to remind you just how resilient and responsible that you've already been in your life, but now being intentional, really, really intentional about taking control of your journey, right? Your journey and your destiny. So my first question I'm going to ask you is, are you fully in control of your own life? Are you fully in control of your own life? Think about it. Write the question down, because I want you to be able to go back and answer these questions. I want you to be able to go back and be really, really honest with yourself, right? Do you have a clear and inspiring vision of what you want to achieve in your life? Do you have a clear and inspiring vision to what you want to achieve in your life? Write it down. Think about it, so you can go back and you can reflect, right? You're going to have the weekend is almost here, and you're going to have a whole weekend where you can truly tap into this personal development and work on these skills I'm getting ready to give you, okay? The next one is, are you actively taking steps to make it happen? So are you actively taking steps in your life to make it happen? And then the last one is, are you consistently showing up for it? Are you consistently showing up for the steps that you're taking? Because one thing I can say is that most people are already asking themselves these questions. It's just that last question that I asked that we're not truly enforcing, and that's the consistency. The consistency of moving forward towards the vision that you see in your life, that you know that you deserve, and in spite of what's happening in your life, because life is going to always happen, right? We're going to lose people who are very dear to us. We're going to make really bad, poor decisions. People are going to come in and out of our life. We're not going to understand why. We're going to experience great disappointments. We're going to, lose things that are valuable to us, whether it's materialistic or whatever. These things are going to happen, but do you have your method in place to stay consistent and showing up for yourself no matter what? It's something that I teach really, really big in our 2-day intensive life coach certification, because I have to tell my coaches that once you put yourself out there and you say to someone that you offer these types of services, and then they patronize you and spend money with you, then you got to show up for those people. So entrepreneurs, if you have a business and you've been putting yourself out there, and you've been telling people that you have, these services that can impact their life, then you got to show up for these people, because that's what you have deposited into the universe. And now the universe is dependent on you to do your part, because we all have this special gift. We all have like this gift that the universe, and I call the universe, whenever you hear me say universe, I'm talking about God, because I'm a God girl, right? That the universe has given us to gift to the world, to gift to your neighbor, to gift to your family, to your friends, to complete strangers. And when you finally tap into that, which most of us have, right? Most of us have, we fully understand what our inspiring vision is of what makes us feel alive, what makes us feel sexy, what makes us feel, in total gratitude of life. But where we lack is the consistency. It's just all in consistency. So I want to give you 4 or 5 key responsibilities that can help you to stay consistent, that can help you to continue to move forward so you can take personal responsibility for your life. So I hate that I can't see the comments. When I decided to do this from StreamYard, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to engage as much as I normally would. But if you are with me, send me some type of comment from one of these streams, because we're streaming from our Facebook page, we're streaming from YouTube, and we're also streaming from the lab. So if you're with me, and you can hear me, send me a comment and let me know that you're here. Oh, maybe I can look at my phone, and then we're going to jump in. Plus, I want to make sure that you have something to write with, because it's not very often that I come and do these type of things publicly, because I always just kind of do them, within the Institute. But, my spirit has been so lifted from last weekend's class that we had. We had 2, we certified 2 of the youngest coaches in the history of the Institute, a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. And I'm talking about, man, they are powerful, and they have given me just so much energy and so much life. This is what this profession and this lifestyle really do for me. It really just, it keeps expanding me, just expanding my heart space, expanding my capacity to just want to be a gift. Okay, someone sent a heart, so that means that you're here. Great, because I can see that heart. So first key is understanding yourself. Y'all, it's really, really simple formula. Everybody that knows me know that I don't, be trying to sound all, high and mighty and philosophical. Basic. Like when I tell you life is so basic, but because we try to, impart all of those things because we want to, sound good and sound profound, all those things that we be going through as adults, when we want people to feel like we're worthy and valuable and intelligent, but we be missing out on the interpersonal part of it. We be missing out on the social and emotional part of it. And that's what makes you sexy. That's what makes people look at you and be like, who is she or who is he? Like, I want to get to know them. It's something about that person. And that is what you want people to feel. That's what you want to vibrate and attract. Bring people to you because they are also feeling the same way. But you got to understand who you are. And you got to discover who you are and what you want. So write that down. Understand yourself by discovering who you are and what you want. You have to be able to tell the universe what you want, right? In order for you to even go to find the path, because I really believe, so this is my brain. So those of you who don't know me, I'm a diagnosed ADHD CEO. So my brain is always super active. And the vision that I just had, because I'm always seeing these visions when I'm speaking, is that when we start off life, there's like a million different paths, right? There's a million different paths, but everybody is just kind of centered around trying to figure out which road, which journey do they supposed to take. Well, when you tap into the understanding of who you are and what you want, then it's almost like out of a million trails that you're seeing, just like there's trails everywhere. A bright yellow one lights up like the yellow brick road. It lights up, and you know that one is for you, and you start on that journey on that particular trail, and the rest of the millions that was ahead of you, they go away, they disappear, and there's one trail to life that you begin to journey on. And that trail, that yellow brick road that you're on, is leading you to what you told the universe that you want and what you really have already been predestined to receive. So not only are you telling the universe what you want, so you're co-creating already. So you're already co-creating, because what you want and what has already been predestined for you is already inside. Y'all follow me, okay? Just follow me. It's already inside. You don't have to go and search far. You don't have to pay millions of dollars to figure it out. It's all inside of you already. You just have to tap into it by sitting down and saying, what is it that I want in my life? Right? So you got those down. Who are you and what do you want? So, Master Coach, how do I even figure out who I am? Okay, great. That's a great question. Sit down and really think about your strengths, right? So what are my strengths? Because your strengths will kind of guide you into who you are and what you're really, really good at, right? Because that's how we got into our careers. That's how we've written books. That's how we've created all of these different jobs that we have. You know, those of us who are serialpreneurs. That's how we have been able to sit down and have very intellectual conversations with people and engage and really hold something, really great conversations, because you're talking about something that you know that you're good at, right? You didn't have to research it. You didn't have to Google it. No one had to whisper in your ear and say this. You just innately, you're just really good at it. Some of you have been born with these skills, and some of you have you've created these skills for yourself because you are maybe, great. You're just great students, and you learn fast, and you know how to take something that you've learned and put it into action, and now you have the experience. So what are you really good at? What skills do you have? What skills do you recognize in yourself that you're really good at? Like when I was growing up, I had like friends who were very, you could see their skills, right? They could make clothes. They could bake. They were just so good with their hands, but I wasn't. Everything I had was here in my heart. Like, people love talking to me. I didn't meet a stranger. Even just as a young girl, adults, regardless of what their age was, if they sat with me, I would know those people's whole life story. And I would tell my mom, I don't know why that woman just, really told me all of that. And my mama always told me, it's baby, because you have a gift. So at an early age, that's what I started hearing about who I was. Like, LaKendra, you're so wise beyond your years. You were born, and we tell kids that now, like you were born before your time. You have so much patience, and how you and how you deal with people. You just listen and you bring people in. So before I even knew who I was, people were already telling me. So those of you who are struggling with understanding what your skills are, understanding what your gifts are, just remember the good things that people have said to you all of your life. Like, oh, baby, you can really do that. You can dance. Oh, you have some skills. Or, oh my gosh, you have impeccable handwriting. Okay, so these things are nothing that I'm good at, right? That I'm talking about. You have great handwriting. Or, oh my gosh, your closet is so organized. Like, all of that stuff, I am not good at. But if you say, LaKendra, I'm stuck and I'm trying to find my way, I can help you with that. I'm really, really good at that. I'm really good at helping people to tap intrinsically inside of themselves and find their passion, what makes them sexy, so they can get on the road to responsibility. So, what are you good at? What are people telling you? And the other thing is, what have you survived? Because what have you survived, whether it's, like for me, I've lost my grandmother and my mother within an 8-year span. And that was something very traumatic for me. But that is also something that I survived because I didn't think I was going to survive those two losses, but I have. I've also survived, really hard heartbreak, and heartache. So the resiliency that you have within yourself of things that you survived, if you survived any type of trauma, you could have survived a really bad car accident. You could have survived, physical abuse. You could have survived emotional abuse. You could have survived, a really bad breakup. You could have survived separation. Maybe you've been separated from your children or just separated from something that you love. Maybe you've been homeless. Maybe your car got repossessed. Whatever the experiences are, you need to tap into them and you need to reflect on them. That's because that's what we're doing right now. I'm giving you the tools that you need. And you need to connect with those things because in the survival was responsibility that you gave it. And sometimes we don't even think that far to give ourselves credit that I pulled myself out of the trenches. I did that. So I want you to ask the question to yourself, what have I survived? Because it's in those things that are going to give you other skills that you have. And I'm going to tell you one of them is resiliency. Good morning, to Coach Tamasha. I just saw that pop up. So if y'all are talking to me, just put them in the feed and I think they're finally catching up. So one of them is resiliency. And if you don't know what resiliency is, I want you to go and research resiliency. Okay. And the last question I want you to ask in the understanding yourself is, what do I need to heal from? That's a big one, y'all. What is it that I need to heal from? Because I don't care how much you tell people that you're okay. I'm good. I'm all right. That don't bother me. The truth is within you, and you only you know your truth. And if you know that you still haven't healed from that last bad breakup, if you know that you truly haven't healed from, when that job let you go, when you and your friend fell out, when you and your sibling, your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, when y'all fell out, when somebody said something to you, maybe it was your child that said something to you, maybe it was a spouse that said something very, very hurtful to you. Maybe it was something that your parents said to you years ago that you've held on to those words for such a long time. And now it has been rooted into your heart, where it has truly hardened you. Because we will allow people to harden us based off of how they treat us. And that's something that you have to take hold of, because I'm going to tell you what happens when you don't heal. When you don't heal, life will start to work out for you. You will be in a great position in life. Things will just start connecting. You know why? Because you really are a good person. And what we reap is what we sow. And because you're such a good person, life is going to start happening to you and happening for you. And you're going to be thriving. And then something is going to happen that causes a setback. And everything that you've worked so hard for, all the new relationships that you have been able to build, they're going to go back into that old programming where you start to lose things again. And then you start to get down on yourself again. And then, you know, what we start doing, we start blaming all of these other things on what's happening to us. But what's happening to us is just the reoccurrence of something that we haven't healed from, that subconsciously just kind of sit back in the cut. It's like, you know how you go to the club, those of you who, you know, who go to the club or who used to go to the club back in the day. And then you will always see, you know, that real slick dude up over in the corner, just kind of lurking over there in the corner. Kind of like it's kind of like a shadow, but you know it's somebody there because he checking everybody out who come through that front door. And he just over there kind of lurking. He's a lurker. That's what our past does for us, or to us. It lurks. It lurks until it finds, you know, that one prey to attack. Like, oh my gosh, he too happy, she too happy. Then we show up again. No, because you don't deserve to be happy, because you haven't healed us yet. That's what an unhealed pain feels like. It feels like you are neglecting it because you're so freaking happy and you don't deserve to be happy. Does that make sense? So if you want these lurkers to keep staying in your life, stay unhealed. And all of that happiness that you've worked so hard for, all of the happiness that you've worked so hard for will just be like this all the time. It's just like, oh, it's like a horrible roller coaster ride that you just cannot enjoy, because the turns are too, you know, they're too fast, they're too rigid. The hills are too steep, you know, and we just can't take it. So we keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. So in understanding yourself, not only do you have to be able to define who you are based off of your strengths, but you also need to know what it is that you want in your life. You need to understand that you really are resilient because you've survived so much, but you also have to go through the healing process. And I know, you know, a lot of people don't be wanting to hear this stuff, but I'm a brutally honest person. And this is the reason why a lot of us we're not surviving. And we're not thriving at the highest capacity that we could possibly thrive in. And the reason is why, because we lack those social emotional skills. Even as adults, I don't care that you're an adult and you have a family and you know you making 6+ figures maybe, and you know you got some kids running around and you have a spouse and you think you're high functioning. No, that doesn't make you high functioning just because you can make money. What makes you high functioning is when you can deal with your own emotional and spiritual self. And how you deal with yourself is how you treat other people. So you know that you're high functioning when you are like on your A game of embracing who you are. You're good, you're bad, and you're ugly, and you're doing something about it every single day that make you a better person. So when you're loving yourself better, you can love your kids better. You can make better choices for them. You can choose them over a job. You can choose them over making an extra dollar. You can choose your spouse and have that quality time over making an extra dollar. You can be kind to your neighbor. When you see a need in your community, you can be there because you've already made this level of success. That's a high functioning human being for me. It's not the amount of money. We've seen very, very rich people with poor poor interpersonal skills. So it's not money that makes you high functioning. It's how you treat yourself and how you value yourself as a whole person, a whole spiritual being. Are you truly taking care of yourself? Which leads me to number 2. Here's the second key to put through the door: threats. Your internal threats. What things do you say that you cannot do? It drives me crazy. Oh, I can't do that. I hear it all the time from grown, functional people. Oh, no, that's out of my scope and sequence. I can't do that. Well, what are things you can't do? Because that taps into you understanding what your weaknesses are. Because the things that you can't do are the things that you fear doing. Write it down. The things that you can't do are things that you fear doing. The things that you can't do are things that someone told you can't do. The things that you can't do are things that you failed at doing because you tried it before, and then now you're in the fear of trying it again. So you have to ask yourself, what are those things that I say that I can't do? And they will take you into your weaknesses. And then the question I'm going to ask you is, because you know, how are you going to address them? It's all about awareness. Awareness is key. Awareness is key. Now that I know what my weaknesses are, oh, Master Coach, I can't go do a live. I can't go do a live. Do y'all not know this is torture for me? It's torture for me to do these talks, especially because as y'all know, everything I do is inside the Institute. So when I come outside of the Institute, I'm pushing my limits. Because inside the Institute, we meet each other with love because we're all on the same wavelength. But outside of the Institute, anybody can be on here, regardless of where they are, and they're in a state of judgment. And when people are not wrapped too tight in the heart, bad things come out of their mouth. So this is very difficult for me to do. And on top of that, I have to be mindful of this interactive brain, that I don't talk too fast, that I don't start stuttering, that I don't lose my train of thought, which I've seen that all. So to expose my good, bad, and ugly to the world wide web is like torture for me. But regardless of that, this is what I know that I must do in order to share my gift, because that's the commitment that I made to myself. I have this gift and I want to share it with as many people as I can share it with. So if I'm saying that to myself, I can't then turn around and limit myself by saying that I cannot do something. Instead, I need to say, LaKendra, how do we conquer this fear? Mariah, how do we conquer this fear? Tamasha, how do we conquer this fear? And you conquer the fear by any means necessary, right? As long as it's legal, keep it legal. As long as it's legal, by any means necessary, so you can stop limiting yourself and you can stop your internal threats. Because your internal threats is like a stop. It's like a red light. It's like stop, do not go. And we literally just stop and we shut down and we lose our value. We lose our passion. And here it is once again. Rock bottom, deep roller coaster, sharp turns, deep dives, and we start all over again. We lose the happiness. We're back frustrated, high levels of stress because of our internal threats. So what are your most common setbacks? Think about them. What are your most common setbacks that occur over and over and over again? What is it? What are those internal threats that when you're thriving, when you're happy, when you're in that good relationship, when you find a good friend finally, You know, somebody you can gel with, somebody who go and can have coffee with you. You know, y'all can go hang out, do some social things together. You finally are in that job. You're thriving. You're making it to work on time. You know, you're meeting your deadlines. You're meeting your quota. All these great things are happening. Then boom, internal threats happen because of something. It's a trigger. What are your triggers that set you back over and over and over again? You got to understand what they are, and you cannot keep ignoring them, because it's all about the awareness. It's all about the awareness of self and your internal threats. Y'all got it? Y'all keep following me. I'm just giving y'all the keys. Really simple things to life. I told you it wasn't going to be like, oh, this so profound. No, it's not profound. It's just about taking responsibility of your personal life and owning your shit, period. Just own your shit. Okay? Number 3, this is the third key, opportunities. Oh, y'all be killing me. Here's the question I want you to ask yourself. What opportunities are you seeking? You got to know them. You have to know what it is that you want in your life. What opportunities do you want to drop down from the universe because you're showing up for your life every day, right? So I'm doing these lives consistently every day. The opportunity that I want is I want somebody, if it's just one person to see me, and I want to be on a stage. I want somebody to offer me a chance to speak on a stage. Oh, you know, I'm a life coach now, and I'm showing up and sharing my skill sets, you know, all the time. I'm letting people know what my gifts are, what I have to offer. I want my ideal clients to find me. I want to start attracting them. You got to start speaking your opportunities out loud, because they all are within your vision. What opportunities are you seeking? You should know them. And if you don't know them, then you're probably on the wrong path. You probably thought that road was the yellow brick road, but it was a red fiery road, and just get off, because it's burning you up. Get off of the road that's no longer serving you. Stop trying to stay in spaces that are no longer serving you and that you don't feel good about. Your heart is going to guide you all the time, y'all. So you speak your opportunities out. How are these opportunities connected? How are they connected? Everybody who is in the tribe of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, like I always tell them, if it's not connected, then don't be here. Because we all have to be connected, right? Because what happens when you connect with these long fingers, watch, boom, this is what happens. Community happens. Community happens. So those opportunities that you've been speaking out loud, you probably can find them in the community, because you being alone, one person, it's going to take you longer to find them. But when you connect and then join with communities that are very, very like you, because we've been taught that, you know, don't join forces with people like you, because then it's competition. No, it's not competition, because who is for you is for you, and who is for me is for me. Everybody don't like my voice. Everybody don't like, you know, the Black woman with the blonde hair and the sparkly glasses, you know, the sexy look, you know, because y'all know I be having that sexy look sometimes. Everybody's not going to like me in my voice and what I have to say, but they may like you and your voice and what you have to say. And we saying the same damn thing, right? Just like the celebrity power. We say the same things that Oprah says, and Iyanla says, and Tony Robbins says, and, you know, the Smiths say, and all these people say. We say the same thing that Eckhart Tolle say. All these things that we say, but people like their voice better because this is their audience. So you have your own audience. So regardless of you joining in a community, you will find everything that you desire in a community that's serving you, right? So the question that I want you to answer is, what communities, what social networks, what professional groups are you a part of? If you can't name any, then that's part of your problem, because you need to be a part of something. How can your strengths serve in these groups? That's the other question. What? You want me to join the community? I'm already struggling with being responsible with myself, but you trying to tell me now that I gotta find a community or a group or some type of network and serve them? Yes. Because it's going to help create what? Responsibility and accountability. Because one thing I know is when we show up for other people, we thrive. You know why? Because of acceptance. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel loved. We want to feel needed. It's all a part of the evolution of life. Everybody wants to be loved and needed and accepted and desired on every level. So when you plant yourself in a community that's in alignment with your gifts and your vision and your purpose and how you're moving, those people will always honor you and always say to you, hey, Tamasha, I see you going hard for us, but what are you doing for yourself? Matter of fact, I just checked on Tamasha. I said, when is your next workshop? I just asked her that. I think it was yesterday. When is your next workshop? You know why? Because she go hard. She go hard in our community. So I want to know, when is your next workshop so we can serve you? Because that's what a community will do. It will reciprocate your same energy. And if you're in communities that don't do that for you, then you're not in the right community. But I'm telling you that you got to be a part of something where your gifts can be strengthened. That's what I'm trying to say. Where your gifts can be strengthened, because let me tell you something about your weaknesses. Your weaknesses in a community look like cupcakes. That's why people think, LaKendra, you do everything. I'm like, oh, no, I don't. I just got a bad community, because my weaknesses, my community, they absorb all of that. Because where I'm weak, they're strong. So when you're in a community, and y'all, I'm not just talking about community like organization or whatever. Even in your household, that's a community. The spouse that you choose, how you're raising your children. Don't be letting your kids just run amok with no rules, no order, no principles. You're not instilling anything because you're so busy as a parent. All you doing is working, because you think that's most important. So your kids are just running amok. They are part of your community. So a lot of us are thriving outside of home, and then we come home to chaos where no one sees us, even inside of our home. People we've given birth to, people who we are very intimate and close with, they don't even see us. They are part of your community too, your family. So how are you even feeding into your family where you are growing strong community across the board? Y'all know when I talk, I speak across the board because we're so one-sided, and my brain allows me to be everywhere, right? I'm everywhere in my brain. So I'm always engaging and strengthening me everywhere in every dimension of who I am as a complete woman. Okay, so I feel sexy about doing number 5. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do 4 or 5. So community was number 4. Number 5 is self-assessment and reflection. Self-assessment and reflection. How did you do today? Do you ask yourself that at the end of the day? Or do you fall asleep on social media? Or do you fall asleep watching TV? When do you sit down and have a conversation with yourself? Right? I do it all the time. LaKendra, how did you do today? You assess that. You sit down and it will make you reflect. We didn't get shit done today, girl. What was up with that? What was up with that? What were those triggers and what were those alerts that kept you from winning today? What did you accomplish? Did you accomplish anything? Did you even start your day out with a goal? Or did you just wake up and start living? Well, existing. It's just like, oh, I got to go to work. Well, did you set a goal for work today? Did you set a goal for your family today? Did you set a goal with people that you needed to meet today? Right? Who did you say that was set up in your opportunity zone today? What was your opportunity zone that you wrote out for yourself today? Sometimes my opportunity zone is I need to meet 5 new people and have meaningful conversations with them. That's my goal for today, which means what? I got to get out of my house because I can't meet 5 people and have meaningful conversations with them like this all the time. So when you're doing a self-assessment and self-reflection, it will hold you accountable with how you're showing up in your own life by asking these meaningful questions. What new ideas came to our mind today? Did a new idea come to mind today? I have new ideas that come to mind all the time. Things that I can be doing to expand my capacity, to expand my heart, to expand my mind and how I think, my perspective. I'm constantly expanding because I'm always having new ideas. And when I don't have new ideas, I sit and I reflect, why wasn't I inspired today? That's another question I'll ask. Why wasn't I inspired today? Maybe I needed to, so maybe the question is you need to read a book. Maybe you need to find a magazine that's in alignment with where you're trying to go. Once again, it's all about assessing and evaluating yourself. What was something new that you learned about yourself today? That's why I love teaching the 2-day intensive, because I learned something new about myself almost every day. Almost every day. If it's another level of patience, if it's another level of acceptance, if it's another level of me loving myself more, me choosing myself. Like, oh my gosh, LaKendra, you did such a good job today. You chose yourself today. You said no to 5 people today when you normally would say yes. And you would show up in spaces that didn't even deserve you. They didn't even honor you because you're trying to just please one person. Most of us, that's how our life is, because we're trying to please one person. The spaces that they're trying to put us in don't even deserve us. They don't even honor you. You only want to be in spaces that are going to honor you and are going to value you to keep you in that flow. You've had enough of life where you've been dishonored. You've had enough of life of that. You've had enough of life where you've been mistreated. You've had enough of life of that. It's enough of that, right? And what were some things that people praised you for? Like when you go out, like, oh my God, somebody probably said, you know what, you have a beautiful smile. That's something to hold on to. Or you know what, you look really nice today. Or, you said something to me that really impacted me. Like, I really appreciate that. So what are things that are people saying to you that you've done for them? If you're not hearing enough of that, that means that you're not moving enough. You need to be moving because your life should be impactful, not only to you, but for everybody around you. And even in that, it could be just communication that's even coming from your family, your children, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your relatives. What are they saying? What praises are they giving you because that you're showing up? And did anyone notice you today? That's a powerful self assessment question to ask yourself at the end of the day. Who noticed you? Because if no one noticed you, once again, you're not showing up for yourself like you're supposed to. Y'all understand me? Y'all feeling me on that? So that's it, y'all. Truly taking personal responsibility of your own life and making those necessary adjustments. It's really not hard to do. Out of all 5 of those, the one that is truly deeply embedded in me is community. Community, when you put yourself in a thriving community that's always showing up, and it's not just about one objective, it's about a collective of objectives, a collective of missions where you can be a part of and you're growing with. It's not about just one person's voice, but a collective of voices. Then you will be able to take your mission, your passion, your opportunities, all of that is of you there, where people will hold you accountable. And you may not like it sometimes. You may not like being held accountable. You may not like people calling you and say, hey, where you been? We haven't seen you in a couple of days. You may not like people saying, hey, when are you going to launch your podcast? We've been hearing you talk about it. When is it going to launch? When you going to write that book? You keep talking about it. Every time we see you on your live, because a community will hold you to the fire. And you may not like it, but it's what you need for your own personal responsibility. You may not like when the community say, hey, we need you. And when you come, we need you to speak. You keep saying you want to be a speaker. We need you to speak. We need for you to be present. We need for you to activate your gifts. And it may be a fear, but you know you got people who are supporting you. And that's where you can truly captivate what it is that you desire within. I captivate myself all the time. I just be like, I can't even believe I said that. Where'd that come from? And even when the tribe be like, ooh, Master Coach, when you said that, I be so out of mind and in my heart zone that it's captivating even for me. So are you even captivating yourself? It's not a bad thing. It's not selfish to want to captivate yourself. That's your problem. That's your whole problem. It's you got in your mind because it's a belief that you can't show up for yourself or you're selfish. You can't do for yourself or you're selfish. It's a balance with that. It's a balance of receiving and giving to yourself and then giving to others. Give to yourself, fulfill your own personal desires and responsibilities, and then you give to others. And if you have a hard time doing that, then you got to be a part of community so community can hold you accountable. And if community is serving you while you're serving it, then it's a good place to be. So that's it, y'all. Woo! And look at this. It's 10:28 and I've been up since 6:30 preparing for this talk. I'm just so blessed that y'all all joined in. It's always an honor when you're able to use your voice and then people show up to listen. So I'm always grateful. I'm always honored for your support. And those of you who are here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this weekend, we are a physical company. We are not just a platform that's online. We are a physical company, and we will be launching our mental health initiative, and we're just so excited about sharing it. All of our brand ambassadors will also be promoting it after the ribbon cutting ceremony. So if you want to be a part of the Institute in any way, the way that you join us is about taking our 2-day life coach intensive. and coming in and learning these skills, because what I just taught you today is really what a lifestyle of a life coach is. Learning how to be fully responsible for yourself, not only professionally but socially and emotionally and spiritually, so you can radically live the life that you want to lead and leave a legacy, and change the trajectory of, you know, your heritage, so you can always restore anything. That's the power that we have as human beings. God gave us the power to create and to heal and to restore. So any generational curses you want to break in your family, it can start with you. You are that person. You are the healer. You are the person to restore. You are the person to bring things back together, bring that peace back together in your family, but it has to start with you first. And sometimes you just need a community so you can learn how to do that. So check us out. Go to our website at www.globalcoachentrepreneur.org and learn more about the impact that being a life coach can have on your life. And then all of our life coaches who are already certified in the institute, are you doing enough? Are you doing enough? Because if you're not, how can you do enough where you can make a greater impact in your own gifts, where you're serving and also receiving? So I want y'all to constantly be challenging yourselves. Just like y'all ask me, Master Coach, you just be everywhere. You even come in on our posts. Like, y'all act like a leader can't engage with y'all. I don't live in that old society. I'm really radical. I be where I want to be. And if I don't want to be there, I'm not going to be there. But I am indebted to the community. And this is where I want to be. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life. So you just have to know, where do you want to be? And what is it that you desire in your life? Okay. So y'all have a good rest of the day. Those of you who are attending, you got on that RSVP list before we shut the doors, because we're at capacity. So hopefully those of you that RSVP will see you in your beautiful cocktail dresses or suits on Saturday to have a great time at the ribbon cutting and the networking event. Make sure you bring lots of business cards or whatever it is that you want people to remember you by. Remember that unique identity that I talked about in the 10 Perfect Clients. Bring something so you can connect with all of these VIP listers that are going to be in that room. That, remember, because I told you, you only need one person that can change your life. You only need one person that can change the commas in your bank account, that can change your zip code, that can change the way that you see life. It's just one person. It's not a million likes on Facebook. It's not because, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a live and only 7 people are on, only 4 people are on. You just need one person that can change the trajectory of your life. So make sure you're showing up for life for that one person to meet you. Y'all be good. Peace, love, and blessings. Bye for now.